Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new series of Crusader Kings III here on the Lord Master channel. As you well know, my name is Lord Master, and this series is going to be quite different than the last one I did when I did a series on the Pannonian of Ars. And this time I'll be playing as a completely different culture, which will feature the Tocharians of the Tarim Basin, which is in this area, which is in modern-day northwestern China. And this is the area that I'm playing in. It's called Krorän, something like that, regarding pronunciation, even though I'm not all familiar with the Tocharian language, but I've read a few words on its dictionary, which you can check that in the description of this video, at the end of the description, as well as that comment below for mobile users and all that. And as well as the amount of mods that I am using, which again I will spare myself from naming all those mods that I have because there are a lot. But I will tell you a select few. Which again, the list of mods is on the description and the comment below as well. That is a pinned comment. But anyways, so here, this is part of the, I mean, obviously, this is the first series that I'm doing ever since the release of the Fate of Iberia DLC, which of course, it makes all those changes over there and all that. As well as the Iberian struggle, which I know a lot of people are doing playthroughs of that area, but I'm staying away from that, at least for now, until I have some idea, unless I have more ideas come in my head. But anyways, I mean, I hid this text because I just wanted to start off the series with this little thing, since we live near that area. It's the fate of the Gui circuit, which is also known as Guazhou over there, this area here. After Dafin Yichao of Guazhou threw off the yoke of the Tibetan Empire and returned the Gansu corridor to Chinese rule. His efforts to restore order, uphold justice, and bring prosperity to the region are admired by many. Yet, the Tang court views him with suspicion. They even dared to snub him by naming his territories Gui, or Return to Righteousness, typically reserved for barbarian vassals. Nonetheless, Yichao wisely swallowed his pride and did his best to curry favor with the Tang. He sent his brother Yitan as hostage to demonstrate his sincere intentions. However, Yitan has passed away. Yichao initially planned to go to Chang'an to replace his late brother as hostage and leave his nephew Huaixin in charge. However, he was convinced to change his mind. The Tang scorn him, seeing them as little better than glorified bandits, and the Tang have little power to enforce anything. The Gui circuit will have to find its own destiny. Only a great leader like Yichao can unite its squabbling clans under one vision. Alas, Yichao is an old man who does not have many years left. What will happen to the Gui circuit when he's gone? But to be real honest, that's none of my business. Because it's like the reason why we got the notification because we live next door to this area here. I took a little drink. Anyways, you probably noticed something a bit on the map here. As I said, I'm going to tell you a few mods that I'm using for the first time in this series. Two of which does involve changing the name of not only the provinces, but also, that's more cultural names is what causes the provincial changes of the name, depending on culture and language. And one that I'm also using is called Community Title Project. So this is the ruler I'm playing as. He is Karmatike, which is a Tocharian language equivalent fertile count, or possibly a lord, or as in lord of the land or whatever. Silarakite is how you say his Tocharian name, and he rules the Karmatani of Krorän. And this is our dynasty, which is obscure, but as you can see, he has his parents and grandparents, which I'll show you the family tree in a moment. So the house motto is prosperity through the bow. It's randomly generated, so sounds good. Even though, despite the fact that we are Theravada Buddhist. Yeah. So I'll show you that in a few minutes as well. He's also a Kuchean, which is, again, it's part of the community title project. The name of the culture's even changed from Tocharian to Kuchean. But this is just to add the uniqueness to this series, as with everybody else. And before we know the man a little more, this is the culture of ours. And this is where the Kuchean, or Tocharian, if you want to keep it up with the habit for Western viewers, or anybody who's not familiar with their language, which is obviously no longer spoken today. So, they are of that heritage, which makes it unique, as they're one of the few cultures in the game to have its own heritage and not be related to anyone else. They speak the Arśi-Kuči language, which is also known as Tocharian B language, which is the of all there are 3 Tocharian languages, but Tocharian B is the one that has the most complete writing, and a lot of words are found in that language, as well as the vowels, the accents, and all that. It's found there. Which again, you can check it out on the Tocharian dictionary on the description and the comment below, the link to that website there if you want to learn more of the Tocharian language, as if you really want to speak it, but it's more of understand some of the terms that they use around here, unless you memorize it. Their ethos is spiritual. While some cultures turn to war and others to worldly knowledge, this culture places trust in the only constant throughout its history, the divine. Spirituality is the only way forward in a harsh and uncaring world. A far cry from the warlike of ours that I played as in previous series. And these are the 5 cultural traditions. Caravaneers. This culture is well integrated into the commercial practices of the region, and its people are strongly associated with caravan trade. Wanderers gain extra economic skills over time, such as stewardship or lifestyle traits. Idle courtiers are much more likely to become wanderers. And we have an increased diplomatic range as well as a little bit of the movement speed. After all, we live part of the Silk Road, which I also am using the Silk Road mod, which I'll show in just a moment again. Xenophilics. This culture embraces everyone and is genuinely fascinated by all cultures. So this increases 25% plus of cultural acceptance gain. And for all of the characters of our culture, we view a slightly higher opinion of different culture, while we have no negative opinion of other cultures, so we cannot hate them because they are foreigners. But we would still have negative opinion if someone's of a different faith, of course. Religious patronage. For the salvation of the soul, one must commit to the works of religious significance. You cannot purchase redemption, but having a temple of priests sing your praise helps. Gain the significant extra piety from constructing temple holdings, as well as gain renown when constructing and upgrading temple holdings. We don't have one at the moment. In fact, there's hardly any in this part of the world. Musical theorists. This culture treats music almost as the language of the divine. Thus, many individuals take up the noble and celebrated pursuit of musical studies from a young age, which the gregarious trait has additional bonuses, and characters of this culture perform better when appointed to the court musician. And finally, and this is the cultural tradition that is exclusive to Tocharians, the Saka, and the Sogdians, also known by their native languages, you can see there. So this is people of the Silk Road. The Silk Road is not one large continuous trade route, but a series of interconnected commercial, social, and political networks. The people of this culture have embedded themselves well into such networks, earning for themselves much fame and profit across Eurasia. City holdings give more taxes, development, and levies. The Silk Road track of dynasty legacies can be unlocked no matter your geographical location. The decision to reinforce relations with Silk Road communities can be taken more than once in a lifetime, and also unlocks the character interaction to present skilled Silk Road entertainers to other rulers, and unlocks the decision to synthesize as a West Asian for cultures that are not of Chinese heritage. And like the Caravanseers, we also get an additional diplomatic range, and as well as a slightly more above opinion of different cultures and faiths. So if you are a Tocharian, or a Sogdian, or even Saka, you would have this, and combined with that, even if you set the game rule of diplomatic range to restrict, you can have contacts from afar. Even though we live in Krorän, so you could say we do have contact with over there in Khorasan. Okay, Azerbaijan is too far away. So is Tabaristan. Trying to think of a range. What could be the furthest? Do have contact as far as Yezd. Okay, about as far as Yezd. So that's quite a range from Krorän to Yezd. That's, again, if you set the diplomatic range to restrict it, but if you play as a culture that combines these two traditions of people to Silk Road and Caravanseers, you could still have contacts from far away. Hell, you could even have contact those far south as India. Yes, even to the Rashtrakuta as well, as they are a large area down there. And so, this will be a very interesting series so far. Right. Now, this man, Silarakite, he is deceitful, which is sinful to Theravadins. He's also ambitious, and he is arrogant. And he is a man with an intrigue education, as he is an integrated web weaver. Which you better put that to use. But I never imagined him as being a seducer, so I'm actually gonna reset the perks, but beware. All your unlocked perks are refunded, and you will gain a big time amount of stress, which causes a mental breakdown on him immediately. But it can only be done once in a lifetime. I mean, normally it's 100, but since you're ambitious, it's 125, so that's a big penalty. Which means I'll have to get a stress coping trait off the start. But I kinda imagined him as being a man who is into intrigue, but also a bit stressed, and he will use that said stress. But the thing is, like, I'm gonna go pick pick these three here, and then I mean, are you sure? Like, say, if I were to go for well focus, because that's the thing I have in mind, so I could use the Fabricating hook scheme to demand payment for hooks. That's what I have in mind. Yes. So this is what I want. I don't plan on murdering anybody yet, but the hostile scheme success chance increase, it'll work. And I will focus on wealth just to gain a little bit of income. Because as you know, this province here, this so Ranhi of Krorän, which is the name of a barony. Now bear in mind that the provinces that surrounds this lake, which is called Lop Nur, this has fluctuating lake levels here. Generations ago, the once sizable Lop Nur lake has began to shrink considerably, whether due to changes in climate or river courses or due to man-made activity. Although that long dry period is now over, the lake is a shadow of its former self. As its lake levels continues to fluctuate and gradually decrease, the local economy is nowhere near its glory days, and the ruins of ancient abandoned settlements are scattered about. So this causes of any province, such as here, and where we live, anything that surrounds it will have that penalty of reduced levy size, garrison size, holding taxes, because less people live here. Development growth is also hindered a little bit, and as well as the control growth, due to the lack of said population to watch over everything in this largely empty land. I mean, we know that the Tarim Basin region is mostly desert with some oases and very few plains, and some drylands too. But fortunately, this barony was built on the plains, which just serves as a reminder of what the land must have looked like back then. But obviously, it's all desert today. And fortunately, there's already a structure built here. Bastions and curtain walls, so we do have a bit of a tax income, along with increased fort level, and its garrison up a bit, so you could say that there is some semblance of what these custodians of Krorän have, just to show that says, hey, this is still our home. And generations ago, we built a fortification here because, you know, there are people out there who probably want our land, and we're going to defend it for that. Oh, and this is also part of the Silk Road, which has plus 34 holding taxes, but it makes little difference. So this is part of the Silk Road mod, that part of it. But as you can see, the legend here, yellow is trading post, red is blocked trade route, which usually happens during wartime, if it happens on that area. And the pink is the Silk Road itself. And bright green is the Trans-Saharan. And earlier, oh yeah, and by the way, you could see that it's all blank there, but I think it matters a little because even though I'm using the Silk Road mod, and that's what's causing it, because that mod is actually not up to date. It's to be updated. And such. Anyways, so let's get down to business now, shall we? And earlier I mentioned people of the Silk Road, tradition, and a few other things that'll be shown throughout this episode is part of the mod called RICE, Regional Immersion and Cultural Enrichment, which is the first time that I'm using it off the start for this series. Although I have previously used in some part of it in the Pannonia Navarre series during the second half of it. Oh, fellow Tocharian. You may be sadistic, but you are calm, so that makes you virtuous, in addition to being a mastermind philosopher. Also, don't Bhikkhus or Buddhist monks aren't supposed to have beards. I know I have a beard, but figuring that you would be a Bharia, that you shouldn't have facial hair, but never mind. Anyways. This is Arśi-Kuči, Tocharian word for martial, or whatever is the equivalent of. I haven't looked that word up in the Tocharian dictionary. And this is our ypoy, which is Spy Master. Now we need a Chancellor. But apparently you are more skilled for this task, so I'm reassigning you. You will be the Porohite. which I recognize that word, which is a word of an Indian origin, or Sanskrit. And bear in mind, the Tocharian culture themselves are largely Indian influenced because of Buddhism, the spread of Buddhism there, and in turn brought Indian culture to the Tarim Basin. So I need a spy master. Not my sister, because she's about to get married. I already signed a marriage just before I started recording. Unless... don't worry, I got an idea regarding spy master. Tusi. You will be the steward, or Ytarimypoy. But unfortunately there's no one better than this one. But he is a military man. One of the very few. So I would much prefer if you were to train our commanders or the Tashi. Which I've noticed they're called Tashi. And this man here, who is our Ytarimypoy, is the best fighter out of all of us because he's brave. But I'll get a spy master in a moment, which I know where I can get one. But first things first. We are going to reinforce relations with the Silk Road community. It's going to spend my money for this. There, Silk Road is home to many different ethnic communities. It would be wise to reach out to leaders and elites of such communities in my territories so that we may mutually assist each other. Now, Silk Road communities. Again, this is part of the rice mod for the Tarim Basin flavor pack. The decision to reinforce relations with Silk Road communities is available to rulers in the Overland Silk Road region, which you could see that little outline there. So basically anything from the east, even into India, and it'll go as far west as Mesopotamia. So, anyways, back to reading. Taking the decision lets you choose to work on improving your relationship with one of the 5 ethnic/cultural groups in your realm. East Asian, Steppe, Middle Eastern, Himalayan, and Indian, each giving you a distinct character modifier for 10 years that could provide further perks. While the modifier is active, you have a chance of receiving various boons. These usually come via flavor events and can vary from some gold or piety to free courtiers and special soldiers. And different communities offer different advantages. Each community unlocks a unique, simple decision that gives further advantages for a price. Note that this decision can only be taken once in a lifetime unless your dynasty has unlocked either the Spice Must Flow or Caravan Network's dynasty legacies, or your culture has the People of the Silk Road tradition with these aforementioned 3 cultures that we just discussed earlier. So the historical context here. The lands of the so-called Silk Roads have been home to a blend of many different ethnicities, religions, and cultures, then and now. In various urban centers, diverse communities of different origins often played major roles in local affairs despite their foreign origin. For example, the Chinese-dominated city of Danhuang had a significant Sogdian minority, some who rose to high rank. It was also home to many other ethnicities like Tibetans, Jews, and Tocharians. And again, has to be in the Overland Silk Road region. And all that, and our culture has that tradition, which means we can do this as many times as we like every 10 years. If you remember by then. So you could choose a community to network with. So we'll go step by step. The East Asians. The people of the Eastern lands are said to be erudite and just. They also have connections with the Middle Kingdom itself. Would it not be wise for you to seek their aid and friendship? It is time to improve your contacts with the East Asian communities. So this one will increase the amount of and chance of receiving gifts Prestige, renowned from local Silk Road communities, and unlocks the decision to bring in East Asia specialists. This is diplomacy related. The steppe peoples of the northern steppe are a contentious lot. While they are not always the most reliable, their skills as warriors and adventurers cannot be ignored if you seek to bolster your military. This option increases the power of and chance of receiving gifts to special soldiers and character modifiers that improve scheme power and advantage in battles from local Silk Road communities, and unlocks the decision to recruit steppe warriors. Middle Eastern. Iranian, Arab, and Jewish merchants and travelers have been renowned for their acumen and worldliness for centuries. With their wealth and connections, our status and power, you could achieve great things together. This option increases the amount of and chances of receiving gifts of character modifiers that improve gold income, or counter modifiers building costs, and controlling your realm capital from local Silk Road communities. And unlocks the decision to bring in Middle Eastern merchant settlers. This is going to be the most likely option because we live in a low-income land. The Himalayans, tribesmen from the Himalayan plateau, are famed for being hardy cable warriors and devout followers of their faiths who can adapt to any adversity. They could prove useful allies. This increases the amount of and chance of receiving gifts of character modifiers that improve scheme resistance and prowess or health, fertility, and dealing with stress, which I'm about to be very, very stressed right now, and as well as unlocks the decision to recruit their warriors. And finally, the Indians. The monks, thinkers, and worldly merchants hail from India certainly left a positive mark on the cultures and societies of any land they travel to, perhaps your lands too. This increases the chance of and the amount of piety or of modifiers that improve lifestyle experience from the communities, and unlocks the decision to bring in the Indian artisans. So I've decided to go for Middle Eastern because we hope to get some gold income or who knows what. I mean, I'm willing to spend nearly all of my money to get these people in here, because this is very low developed, unlike all the other provinces that we neighbor with, which are more developed than us. So let's do some networking. The lands and seas of the so-called Silk Road have been a vibrant melting pot of different peoples for generations, perhaps even before the rise of great empires of Han, Rome, or Persia. Thanks to these extensive networks, there are flourishing communities with origins from across Eurasia, even in my realm. Cooperating with them may be helpful if I am to achieve my ambitions. In particular, I decided to reinforce relations with the Middle Eastern communities in my realm. The merchant networks of Iranian, Arabian, and Jewish origin can be found across the Silk Road. Wherever trade may flow, anyone who seeks to encourage commerce and development will look for their aid. If we do good business with them, we can all surely prosper and grow. In addition, let's spend another 15 gold to bring in the Middle Eastern merchant settlers. Now that I've been networking with the local Middle Eastern communities in my realm, I'm interested in whether they'd be willing to help me attract some of their compatriots, particularly merchants, to settle in my realm and continue to expand the existing commercial networks so that we may all prosper and grow. So I will gain some prestige out of this, and they're going to live here for 10 years, which does increase a bit of holding tax bit as well as development, while reducing the building cost of gold, priority, and prestige. Trade and commerce will flourish. No matter their ethnic or religious origin, merchants from the Middle East can be found throughout much of the Silk Road, ranging from Arabs to Iranians and Jews and more. They have been especially prolific in establishing colonies in major trade centers and crossroads in order to broaden their business networks. I've managed to convince some members of the local Middle Eastern community to assist me in recruiting people from their homelands or from elsewhere along the Silk Road networks. To come and settle on my lands, and to get to expand their networks, while also helping me bring even more prosperity in my lands. I eagerly welcome the colonists. It's a win-win. Oh boy. liege is neutral towards me, but I need to get this land developed, but there is a way. I mean, I'm not using my Yermaka to increase development because I need him to collect taxes, even though there's very little tax to collect from. Maybe I ought to kiss up to him. But big problem. That's much more stress increase because I am arrogant, and due to ambitions, this increases it even more. So perhaps I should petition. Nope, that does the same thing. Well, it's been over 30 minutes, so let's finally get on with this series. While I will soon go find a person who would be willing to be a spy master. I need somebody who has very low intrigue. There you are. Because I need to fabricate a hook with them. So that way, in years' time, thanks to the, well, once I get the demand payment for hooks, I can get these guys to pay me some money as a get rich quick scheme. Let's finally get this series over with. Why must I do everything myself? How could I be expected to rule over Krorän when half of my servants are incapable of following my orders, and the other half does not even understand them? Oh, don't do that. I wouldn't want to be a drunkard. But I'll just say, why must you all be incompetent idiots? So that lowers my martial and diplomacy while increasing my prowess because I'm an angry man. Unlocks and releases my anger interaction, allowing to duel anyone when I'm stressed. But I don't have the fighting skills for this, but I need to go beat up somebody. It's not lower enough. But study the art of scheming, though. Even though it's already at the max. I must consider every angle my scheme might turn to. As a spider weaves its web, I should ensure there are many ways my prey could become ensnared. I'll spend some time planning my deception carefully. Which, bearing in mind, since you are deceitful, this only happens to improve your hostile schemes, grant success chance of power in exchange for stress. The world of schemes awaits. It doesn't lower it, but I'm gonna lash out. I let go of this anger and irritation I've been holding in. Oh, there's nothing better to clear my mind. Next time an opportunity arises, I will not stop myself. So I will lose some stress, so I will either insult a random vassal, which I ain't have none, or I'll just gain lashing out, and everybody's just gonna be, woohoo. Hey! Hey, you! As soon as the court gathers, I smile arrogantly. The time has come. You over there! Were you born such a turtle, or did that come later in life? And you! Don't think I don't see you! So now these courtiers are just gonna be, you know, a little, it's like, you know, that's just, I'm in a bit of a pissy mood, alright? Don't you know that life is hard living here? Do you have any idea how long I've been ruling here? 5, so he died in 849. And based on that age, 849, that means I've been ruling here since I was 8. And he didn't give me any appreciation for it. It's the kind of guy he is. He's deceitful, ambitious, and arrogant, and he's also a bit irritable. You know, that's kind of exactly the character I had imagined for him. But the stress is still relatively high. If you want to lower that even more, go hunt or feast, or even go visit the Crescent Lake of Don Juan. Basically, you go on a bit of vacation. Thank you. Don't want to lower my fertility off the start. So, Now I am married, and this is to form an alliance with the other Tocharian, the fellow Tocharians who are still out there in this part of the world. So, I let my sister be married to this man over down in Jamotwana, and I am married to this woman who is basically the opposite of me. I mean, she is calm, trusting, and just, so she's a rather nice woman. So that'll definitely help me out, making up for me being irritable. I lost all these skills, but now it's restored, while giving a bit of additional stewardship and intrigue and a bit of learning as well. But I still need a spy master, which in fact, go find a woman to be the second wife, since the Theravada Buddhism allows multiple wives. I mean, do you expect to have multiple children? Unless you want to look for ones with inheritable traits. Ah, just a point one. Didn't I fire you? No, that's not. Glad you're here. Only using you to support schemes. You know, may not be the best at it, but you'll be replaced one day. So don't petition or pay homage to him unless your stress is lowered a lot. At least we're making some income. Not a lot. Give me a moment. Hey, you got any good looking women over here? Faith does not allow polygamous. Oh, you're Vajrayana. Never mind. Unless. It's like, no, she ain't gonna come according unless you give her a hook. Or something. How old are you? 33. No wonder. Why the hell not? Start seducing, and if I make her my lover, I can use that to invite her to the court, and then... I'm trying to knock my head, trying to think. And I make her my wife, and there'll be no issues. Because, obviously, in my religion, adultery is shunned, but not criminal. Now, what is Theravada Buddhism as compared to the other ones? The path of enlightenment goes through personal experience, reflection, and reasoning. Gautama Buddha found his own path to nirvana, and the only way of finding a similar way is to experience, learn, and study one's own existence. The tenets are monasticism, which you've seen that before in Christian faiths in previous playthroughs. I never had this tenet before, literalism, which our holy texts clearly state divine intent and human interpretations of limited value, which may debate other lords of the realm at the cost of opinion to gain or lose piety. It's basically a theological debate. And also dharmic pacifism, which we're all part of the cosmic order. Violence against anything is violence against everything, oneself included. So you cannot declare holy wars nor raiding, but opinions of other pacifists just fine. And it makes calm a virtue and wrathful sin, and also increased resistance from conversion from people of other faiths. Looking at you, you Manichaean. We view them as hostile, but they consider us as evil. And that's an issue. I know you're not endorsed by me, because, yeah, I've been lashing out, but you'll get over it in a year. What am I missing? Oh, yes, I just remembered now. I mean, we'll increase the speed in just a few minutes. The innovations. There's this bug regarding the crud, a smuggling ring. That damn steward. Fix that. God dang it. That lowered the control of the area, which is no good to nobody, and it'll take 3 years to get it back under control. Just as when we were training commanders. Because my steward is a goof. Yep, this is the kind of area that we live in. Anyone could buy a token of affection, big or small. If I want to impress Raknaska, I should send her something truly special. Well, she isn't a rational blackguard. I don't know. I would say I should acquire an especially rare book for her. I think she likes knowledge, or at least the objects that contains it. No, I don't think so. She's impatient. Try something else. How about a handkerchief with my crest on it? Make a good use of symbol from someone of my stature. So yes, this is the hard life here. Sometimes there's corruption and we gotta get under control. It's almost like you're living in lawless territory. Thank you for so much for the crested handkerchief you gave me. I could scarce remember the last time I received such a wonderful gift. Anything for you, Scott? So it may work. I'd rather reduce women nearby than look for somebody who's... don't worry about it. I was just thinking of something else in my head. Plus, hopefully it's a stress reducer. If you were to have a lover or two. I mean, I can have more wives if I wish. Because one thing I forget about reading more of this faith is the marriage type is polygamous. Rulers, if allowed by general law, can have up to 4 spouses. I already married one. Having too few spouses will incur a piety penalty. Divorce is always allowed. No bastards. So there is no such thing as a bastard. All children are equally legitimate. Children born out of wedlock are just as legitimate as any other. So you're saying, from the previous faiths that I played as in the game, bastards can be legitimized if their house and a dynasty that approves. And the old Tengris faith legitimized. There is no bastards in Islam. Just look at other examples. No bastards there for Tibetan pagans. No bastards in Buddhism. Okay. I'm kind of liking this already. Marriage between cousins is allowed, and sexual relations between cousins will not give the incest secret. But bear in mind, same-sex relations is accepted. We already knew that adultery is shunned. So is deviancy and witchcraft. And dynastic kinslaying is criminal because murder is murder. Alms and pacification for the clergy. And the clerical gender is either men or women. But the clerical marriage is disallowed, obviously. Spiritual for life for the opponent. And a special doctrine is multi-religious interweaving. Non-Eastern faiths with the Eastern syncretism tenet are considered astray instead of evil. And mutual 30+ opinion bonus with faiths that have the Eastern syncretism tenet. Together we are bound not by a single faith, but by many faiths that we make up the religious fabric of our society. Now, we may call ourselves different names and follow different paths. Some from outside our belief system learn to coexist in our society as if they were one of us. Like, for example, this Sogdian ruler is a Nestorian Christian, also known by its native name there in the Aramaic language. So, because this one has the Eastern syncretism. And because of this, we consider them astray and they consider us astray. Not evil, not hostile, but astray. So, say if you are a Nestorian Christian living in a Tarim Basin, Tibet, or even India, no one's going to fight holy wars against you, and you can't fight holy wars against them. You're basically blending in with them. It's been that way since Nestorius was around and his followers went to the Sassanid Empire. Anyways, let's speed the game up finally. A reading and Kumtag. The celebrations that come to an end and the evenings empty seem to be over. When Ragnaska suggested a reading. The clerk soon arrives, wondering what the guests would like to hear. I see the chance to impress her. Oh, bearing in mind, I'm also using the, in case you didn't see the list of mods in the description, that, bisexual, huh? That I'm using more seduction outcomes, which adds more intimate descriptions when you complete your seduction scheme, if it's a success. Let's be entertained. East of Indus. Clerk reads first. She seems completely engrossed. She later approaches me. Good choice, Arśi-Kuči, she says and smirks. It was great, wasn't it, huh? So, that adds more schemes chance. Now I'm guaranteed to lay with her. It's probably some of you people probably came to see, huh? So we get this damn thing under control, and that lowered our taxes, you know. And not to mention our levies. Which we do have 300 light footmen for our defense force. 5 months' time, and we'll get that book fabricated, and who's there? Oh, it's our neighbor. To my liege, as he says to his liege. For too long I've suffered the ignominies at the hands of Idikut Burkut. I will not stand only by while our liege abuses his loyal vassals. I urge you to join me in a fight to depose this tyrant. Oh, that's just his vassal. I mean, vassal. This Sogdian man, who is a much better fighter. But he has only 400 levies. And he's got 7 Sarbagent. I will say, you are a traitor. I will remain loyal to my liege because I don't want to make him mad. He's coming to our direction, so consider this war joined. Oh, I'd like to kiss up to the liege, but this may help. We only have about 5 of the Tashi. Now, some of you may not have experienced warfare in your lives. And this is our crappiest ones, and that is our marshal. That's our Sima. Okay. There's all armies. Who is the most qualified commander for this task? Me. And none of you guys? Clearly none of you have ever experienced warfare in your lives, but neither have I, but I have to lead because it's leading your own soldiers. I'm the ruler here. And knowing we may encounter them in the future, who's got a way higher advantage than I, because he's got never back down, and he has a chivalry focus, and he's also, most importantly, a gallant man, but a misguided warrior. He's 47 years old, he's been at it for a long time. if we kill him somehow, then she'll be leading that area, then we wouldn't have any issues regarding commanders. Now the real question is, hey, I'm an irritable man, so I do have some problems. I could at least defend myself. There is no defensive advantage here. We don't have the kind of buildings that would give a defender advantage, such as the hunting grounds here. And due to our lowered control, the levies aren't even at the max. So we should station at Tikkanek, because there's a river crossing here. In fact, there's two rivers. In fact, both of these rivers that later drain down to Lop Nur. And I know this river here, as I know the geography of it, this is the Tarim River, which is how the Tarim Basin got its name. But that desert in the middle there, that's called the Taklamakan Desert, which in Iranian languages, especially Persian, it kind of roughly means the place of no return, which means once you enter the desert, there's no going back. Fortunately, our liege is a military man. But one thing is for certain, is he will be leading his troops. He's got pikemen and he's got cavalry, so this will definitely kill him. While they are bringing the ayars, an Iranian specialty, which they counter against spearmen, so watch out. But our light footmen will actually take care of theirs because they are good against heavy infantry. So we're on our way. We'll probably lose. We'll be defending a river crossing here. So, listen here. They have a higher advantage than us. We do have some good, some not so good fighters, and they have a lot of average and only one good ones. They come from mixed backgrounds, but as we stated before, none of these men ever faced warfare in their lives, but we'll do what we can to try to hold them off. But remember, if I get killed, sister, oh, she's already pregnant. Well, crud. Well, hope that she doesn't get a son. And also get yourself out of that marriage should there be anything like that. Since, you know, divorces are always allowed, right? Must be approved by Hans Maximus for the old faith from previous series. Where's this one? Always ready. In 3 days' time. Now, here's all I gotta say about this upcoming battle. That says that we may probably lose, but I believe kill a few, and then let our liege be on our way, take their capital, finish the rest, and then that's it. We're just here to do what we call delaying action. As in, hope they don't come to our territory while our liege will bring his army over and take this Otak down, which is a Sogdian word for barony or castle. So, we have a higher quality army, we have more men, arms count. But that man has more commander traits than I by one, as I have none. And he has more soldiers than us. But keep in mind, our Tashi are the only ones that can do much more damage, but they even outnumber us by 2. And some of them aren't even Sogdians, but if you see a Sogdian warrior on the front line, well, be careful. Be frickin' careful. And I'll tell you why. As we know, the Sogdians, they're caravaneers just like us. They are best known as being a mercantile people, the middlemen of the Silk Road, with religion blending, where no matter what their faith is, they view each other as brothers of culture. But here's the interesting part, the Fatua tradition. They have forming clubs that promote prowess, vigor, and moral behavior. By endorsing and supporting these clubs, they will ensure the supply of able-bodied soldiers that can rally to their cause. So they could spar their own knights in single combat to gain modifiers. Their martial education traits are more valued. Their prowess traits are more valued, but that doesn't come till high medieval era. Blade master traits have additional bonuses. The craven and content traits are looked down upon. Knights are slightly more prone to injury during battles. But look at the also curatus. Injury resistance prowess +5, meaning even if you wound them, their prowess skill will not go down. Do not underestimate these mercantile people. They are slightly more martial oriented than us. So you could say, it's like, yeah, we know there's plenty of tough guys there, but if you see a Sogdian man in the front lines, well, be prepared to be in a fight of your life. Especially mine, since I'm the only one who's qualified to lead the troops in battle, whereas the rest ain't, because none of them experienced warfare before. So, we'll take this loss, but we'll do what we can. Not surprisingly, Marshal... Okay. They didn't give us a description. I mean, I've tested this more seductions outcome mod before. They do have other intimate descriptions, but the one I got at random doesn't have that description written. So, but it's a success based on the music I'm hearing. I would say, yeah, please stay a while. Come to court, darling, because she's my lover. And then when you come here, you will be my second wife. If I survive, of course. Obviously, we're taking more casualties than them. We're only going to take a few of them with us. Mouse on my pedal. To think I can embrace openly now. With the blessing of both Virudaka and the people around us, I am the happiest man alive. Come here, wife of mine. So there. My primary wife won't get suspicious of me. Hey, you got any good-looking women in there? So that I can make love to and then later invite? Well, stop! Focus on the battle, will ya? I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's the point of this battle. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Thanks to our screening from the light women, we will take minimal casualties, because this is what it says. This is the amount of casualties taken in the aftermath of a fighter. Armies combined. Yeah. I've been captured and detained against my will by I'm no longer free to return to my home or travel as I wish. Well, I hope it doesn't last. At least none of my guys got killed, so you're taking over. Since this is a Prisoners of War mod, I am not in the dungeon. I am actually being taken by this Sogdian army. The Sogdian army of Agnidessa. And yep, they are coming over here. And our army will be headed over there. I guess once they complete their retreat then. If someone has imprisoned you, this is not good. Openness is something to what will happen and what you can do if imprisoned. Your character's been captured and is now at the mercy of someone else. There's not much you can do about it. Navigate to the character who holds you prisoner and use the ransom yourself interaction. If you're lucky, they're able to pay your way out. If you're unlucky, they might choose to execute you. Oh boy, I hope he's not an angry man like I. Oh no, he's honest. He's an honorable adventurer. I don't think he's the kind of guy that would execute prisoners. No. If you're at war with someone who imprisons you, they can enforce a victory. There's nothing you can do about this, except be more careful in the future. If you're captured while commanding an army, it's because it happened because you had low prowess. Sometimes it's a good idea to mitigate this risk by not leading armies personally. If you were captured in the siege, it's probably because an enemy occupied your realm capital. You should always try to make enemies stay clear of your capital. I understand. I could try to attempt to escape from prison. Just in case I'm appointing a court physician. I know some of my men were wounded during this battle. Yeah, this man, he got hurt. So I need you to help him. Yeah, I'm a frontline commander in addition. That means there goes my fabricate hook scheme. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. But keep in mind, my health is not reduced, because I'm not in a dungeon. I'm a prisoner of war. The same walls, the same routine, the same growth of food. Every day is just like the last. This prison is eating away from me. I will stand for it no longer. You might be displeased if my attempt to escape prevails. And success depends on my prowess and my traits. Well, I'm an ambitious man who's deceitful, and I can be a bit irritable. So I am not a happy customer. No bars will hold me. Again, I'm not in the dungeon. I'm a prisoner of war. I'm held in a prison wagon. And I want to get the hell out of here. Freedom. A moment's distraction. That was all I was needed to slip the keyring from the guard's belt behind my back. When darkness falls, I make my way slowly out of my cell, wincing at the screech. As I disappear into the oasis surrounding his castle, or in this case his army, out of his prison wagon, find out at home. I'm free. Good, nobody saw me. That means crud. I gotta restart that scheme. You can't use it until Tuesday. Okay, find someone else then. Oh, how about against my liege? Yeah, that's a good idea. Use that hook, and I'll use that to modify feudal contract in future. That's an idea. So it's like, haha, back in my home. As an influential Kamatika, it's only fair you have a voice in my council. In recognition of this fact, I hereby offer you the position of Spy Master. Spy Master? I'll take it. The dread will be out. Hostile schemes, scheme. Yeah. Yes, I'm fabricating a hook against them. We'll put that to use. The Sogdian army's not coming to Krorän. But they are about to fight each other in a battle. Lover! Well, I'm the one who laid on you first before I did with my old rod. I cannot wait to hold a baby in my arms. Which I stated before. Hey, you got any more good-looking women over there? Oh, who's this? Yipe. Mahayana, that is also a polygamous. 'Cause I 15 but homosexual. Ah, never mind. Plus already betrothed. Anyways, have a look of here. They have the advantage. They took a river crossing, but their numbers will be put to... So they defeated them. I think I should stay in court rather than lead an army. You lead them. Or in this case, go assist the Uyghur army to get this area. Because I need to be here. Oh, how about that? This softy and wife. It's almost like I'm only willing to look for good-looking Tocharian women. Obviously, that's one who's married too. Just only looking for nearby single women, and not of the cloth. I think the better question is you should be looking for ones with inheritable traits, but I think it matters little. Let me see. The real question is that has to be not a ruler, any single ladies who have, I was about to say inheritable traits, but again, matters little. So start down by age, and it has to be nearby, inside diplomatic range. Again, I have certain tastes of women, at least as a Tocharian. Look of here. I think it's too far away to seduce her, to be honest. Plus doesn't like me, different faith, and too far. Okay, never mind. And you should look for the ones of local cultures. That's what you should be looking for. You want to continue the game while I look for someone. Someone who could win my heart over. Oh God, no. Interesting. Obviously, you're probably too far knowing your culture. Yeah. Exchange of ideas. Today, a number of learned people from the local Middle Eastern community paid me a visit in order to give my court an interesting lecture on some of their traditional beliefs, principles, customs, literature, and history. Across the Silk Road, the exchange of ideas and cultures is nothing new, after all. Oh, much of the information went over my head. I did learn some interesting things, and I hope this experience can help me further connect with those with the ancestry of the Far East. Minor inspiration from the Silk Road civilization, which This character recently engaged in some productive dialogue with prominent scholarly members of the local community of foreign origin from across the Silk Road. These intellectuals ultimately helped spark some ideas for this character in various aspects of life. Today was a productive day for sure. Speaking of productive, anyways, keep looking. Havamna. A claim to Kashgar area. An antiquarian. Chaste. That won't work. Again, I'm just here to seduce a woman. Like, once you get her seduced, and then you make it a wife. That's how it works. Cabal, that's kind of far. Also, she's a Buddhist, so there's a chance. Oh, god dang it. God dang it, god dang it, god dang it, god dang it. And plus, she doesn't like me very much. She likes the deceitful, but it's the distance is the issue. Even if you get her to like her, then it's... Again, the base is +5. So basically it's right at 0, but improving that is just... But again, she's comely, and that's why I was kind of... You know what, start the chase. Let's just give it a chance. There's a way to improve it. Plus she's only a guest, she doesn't live there. She's just visiting. She's a visitor. It's quite a distance, but... Damn it, give love a chance. And if I don't get what I want, I'm gonna lash out at somebody again. Okay, you done captured the enemy capital. In fact, tag along with him. You're attached to that army now, so I'm only leading my commander out there. I ain't going back out there. I don't want to get imprisoned again. No way, no how. I've already had a traumatizing experience as it is. Hopefully, you'll capture the enemy. This is my daughter. I shall name you Arjuna, named after the ace archer, Arjun. Yes, I'm very familiar with the Mahabharata. Captured brother-in-law, Dharmadasi, and in fact, these are my prisoners. Well done, men. Okay, what can I do to impress Mazda? She is a Sunny. Khorasani. What is that to be exact? They're Tajiks. In case you're wondering of what that name's supposed to be. Anyways, let's try, again, she doesn't like me very much, but she's an evil atheist. Oh, that's kind of hard to impress, so let's try to handkerchief my crest on it. See if it works. Budding interest. 15% chance. I don't think it's gonna work. But miracles have happened. Right. Since these two are prisoners of war now. Unimportant courtier, but you, my friend, you're important. Because you got money. And I need that money. We need to keep this alliance together. And I know what I'm going to do with that money exactly. Because I do want to reduce that stress a little more. What reduces more? Either or. There's no point in holding feasts because you ain't got no vassals. and also costs less. What about visiting the Crescent Lake of Don Juan? It costs less, but you'll lose stress. So, one of the main geographical landmarks near the city of Don Juan is the so-called Crescent Lake. It's a sizable lake set in the middle of the desert. It is saturated equally in the famous singing sand dunes of Don Juan. I wish to visit this area to relax and enjoy myself. So, context. There is a lake few miles south of Don Juan. This is what we're looking at here, also known as Chazal. So there's a lake south of Don Juan called Ytarim, or Crescent Lake. It was a popular site for leisure as early as the Han Dynasty. At one time, it was surrounded by many temples and pavilions. Due to excessive use of groundwater, the lake has shrunk at an alarming rate in the last few decades, though this has been somewhat mitigated by emergency measures. However, more serious steps need to be taken if the lake is to regain its former glory. The lake is still there today. I did some reading. So, unlike Lop Nur, this lake in Don Juan still exists today, and it's still visited by tourists. This is the Hejik corridor, which is the reason why, as we can see in this outline, we're part of that outline. That's the reason why we got the notifications about them. We're kind of connected to a bit of China in a way. So yeah, I was a prisoner of war for about a day, and I escaped, returned to my court, never returned to the front line, and now I'm going on vacation a bit. What a life. I've concluded now that it's a good time to properly pay a visit to the Crescent Lake near Don Juan. An opportunity to spend a day there, and just relax doesn't come up all the time. Anyways, I'll make preparations to go there as soon as I can. I can hardly wait. I'll start a day trip to the Crescent Lake there. That's what I'm spending a little bit of my money on. My day trip over there. Despite the fact that it's December, it's cold out. In fact, it says harsh winter. My goodness. Today, at last, I have come to the Crescent Lake of Don Juan, and to relax and enjoy myself. There are many legends about how this lake was formed. Some say a Chinese general dug a well for his troops to create a lake, and others say Siddhartha was responsible, among many variations of the tale. Already I see a decent number of people here for the same reasons as me. At such a large lake such as this one, there are many activities one can do. I could visit the nearby singing sand dunes, for example, and listen all to the music emanating from the sand. I could also go to the nearby temples and pray in a peaceful setting. And of course I should spend the time at the lake itself, drinking its cool waters, admiring the fish, and having a picnic by its shore. Now, what to do first? It doesn't matter which, you'll lose some stress, so... I'll just say, let's visit the singing sand dunes. Stress gain reduced, or stress loss up. Alright. I need prestige anyhow. Knowing it's going to be used in future. So, my day trip over there has ended. I will return to court. Meanwhile, would it not be wonderful if Ytarim owed me, not out of fear, but out of gratitude? For example, if I were to save him from vicious bandits while he was out traveling, I mean leading his army. Indeed, vicious bandits like the men currently waiting outside Castle Gate. I would charge him with my guards at the last moment, drowning him off, and leaving Bolkot in life death to me. Spend the money. We cook. That's worth spending. So simple, yet so convincing. You got it. And now we'll use this said hook to modify the vassal contract to protect, religiously protect it, so the liege cannot demand conversion of me, and you cannot convert Manichaeism into my lands, and cannot use faith as a reason to avoid tyranny when revoking titles. In other words, don't spread your Manichaean crap to my lands. Buddhism is our heritage, and we'd like to keep it that way. It's not exactly a waste, but it's smart. Alright, who else we could bother? Who is a landed character with money? Bingo, we found another one. Who's? Huh. To my vassal. Circumstance made it necessary for me to make the following alterations to my contract. I trust that you find these changes to be fair. Uses we cook it dead. Fuel contract gains. Yes. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's what I did. Now I need to start fabricating hooks on people with money. Because soon, I'll be getting this. Demand payment. This allows the character to demand payment of gold in exchange for any hooks they have. Get this fortification down and then we win the war. I'm actually the leader of this siege. By we, I mean my commander. You're an evil atheist, so let's be entertained. Travels to Jerusalem. Ah, crud. Read modern philosophy. Atheist philosophy, that makes sense. Why didn't I think of that? This is definitely not going to work out. I'm sorry. Hopefully we'll capture some prisoners there. We got the money because I was the leader of the siege. And we have the daughter. So, you better pay up. Because war's over. And there's two others we also captured. Those are his children. Thank you. Anything else? Pay 18 but cannot afford the full ransom. Every little bit helps. After all, you're part of this rebellion, as you are a spabod over there. Maybe we should wait till he raises. You're not in prison. It ain't your fault. It's the fault of the liege. His titles have been revoked and he is out of here. Now we can start making a bit of fortune around here again. While we'll still try to get things fully under control, which will be till 16 months. We cook on him. There's no money on you. Historian. We're on a house arrest. Make him stay here. I'm sure someone will want him. Greedy bastard. what you should save your money on is these hunting grounds here. It's for defender advantage, so we could defend this place a lot easier. Oh, you're an herbalist, eh? Hey, if this don't work, then I'll seduce you too. Just to lay with you, but not to make you my lover. But yet I'm not gonna get the pretty one. Nope, that ship has sailed. Exposed. As I made my climb up to her window. Yet it's located in Cabal still. Her shock scream was not the welcome I had in mind. I had no time to stop before she runs the door and flings it open. Help! Guards! There's an intruder in my chambers. Before this night gets any worse, I crawl back the way I came. I may have misjudged her eagerness. So, I'll just say, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here now. Well, time to chase another woman. Go find it nearby, particularly. Who's that? I mean, I know she doesn't like me. But... Trusting... Oh, no, that won't work. Over in Havana, also known as Kotan over there. Kotanese Saka. Yipe, don't want to touch her. Idiots! Don't seduce a man's wife. Be careful who you seduce left and right, alright? I was about to say, a Radonite? You're correct. Gee, I'm kind of jealous of that there's someone like her over there. I wish she was my antiquarian. Content dislikes ambitious. I mean, it would be as simple, then I'm sure some people say, well, why don't you just marry somebody who has terrible traits? And I'm like, well, I'd like the thrill of seduce and then marry. It's the thrill of the chase. Any more guests? Got you again. In the meantime, I'll seduce you and just lay with you so I can have more children. Because I need a son. Also, thank you very much, my liege. Thank you very, very much. Looking down on a perfectly shaped rose and imagining not smile, I can barely contain myself. It's exquisite, do you not agree, my lord? The old merchant gestures the rose of a wink. A perfect gift for the loved one. I'm seducing this one, not her. But I'll just say this junk, spare me. Sorry. My money's better spent elsewhere. Again, what am I going to do with that man? He ain't got good skills of anything. Dungeon. Okay, remove him out of the dungeon, then he would have a diplomacy skill of 7. Mine's 12. And I know you got a guest in court. Competent, you have a 12 martial as compared to 9. Okay, how much is it gonna cost? 60. Nope. I've started a series of vicious rumors against Progzin. None of them are true. So much to decry them as the obvious lies do. What better way for that someone to have than our death? I must stand up to this injustice. So I got a weak hook on him, and in 3 months, get ready to pay up. I know you got money, and I'm gonna need that money to spend it on a new building. I've been made aware that Bhadra is very close to her brother, Dharmadasi. Gaining his favor might help me catch her attention. Gets a weak hook on me. I don't think that would be a good idea. This doesn't seem right. Let's go scam somebody else. Here we go. Demand payment for hooks. So I don't know if I should keep going down this way. But I'm also thinking about cutting cornerstones as the next perk to get just to reduce the costs more. Knowing I wish to improve this land here. Alright. Pay up. Thank you very much. So we're building hunters' lodges. We don't have cavalry, but adds a little bit of levies, but defender advantage and bit attacks. Advantage defending here, more points. Just to complement this. As the door of the burning chair opens, I am not greeted by smiling web wives and crying baby, but instead, Akna's heart-wrenching wails. I'm so sorry, my lord. The Wedmite does not look at me in the eye. In her arms, a tiny card bundle. Your daughter, she's in Nirvana now. My daughter? In Nirvana? Was stillborn. Oh. It's tragic. Don't worry about it. Well, I'll try my chance to seduce her even though we're already married. It's just we haven't got along yet. This is just to keep the alliance alive and all that. I'm attending a dance, not simply because I'm the lord of the castle. It's because I want to save Bhadra there. She looks resplendent, and when we finally have a moment ourselves, I'll offer my suggestion. She's an analytic paragon, so... How about a walk in a garden, away from all this? She and I walked the gardens, talking all manner of things. We eventually realized we had both lost track of time, and when we returned to the dance, had already started winding down. What an evening we had. Nobody will touch you. All these men in arms you've got there. Gee, I won't oppose you. Better start kissing up to him sooner or later. Enough stick for walking. Occasionally I've been taking walks near my house to get some fresh air. I'd like to venture more into the wilderness to see the beauty of the untamed land. However, the terrain isn't always easy to traverse. Today, while going on such a walk, I came across a large wooden stick. Picked it up out of curiosity. I found it sturdy and easy to grip, and wanted to see if it could help me keep my balance. I firmly planted on the ground, took a few steps as I tried to use it as a walking stick. It seemed to work well enough for this purpose. However, as the stick found out in the wild, it isn't the most pleasant looking. It does need to be tidied up a bit. I could take this to a local artisan who could refine it a bit with a little carving. Gain a tiny bit of stress for this and become the owner of a rugged walking stick. Add a bit of stress, but it'll reduce more stress gain. So you want stress prevention? Spend it. Very well, let's find an artisan who can help me with that. So now I got a rugged walking stick. Gotcha. So you shouldn't be surprised, because here in this land, there used to be a forest back in ancient times, when this lake was more lush, and so was this land. My servants have all been sent away, and our bed's been decorated with roses. As Bhadra enters our chambers, she smiles patiently, and joins her without hesitation. With the helps of hands, mouths, and limbs, we reaffirm the devotion we swore before Siddhartha, perhaps in a more carnal fashion than intended. Bonds of marriage are enough. No matter what happens, you still lay with her. Because I still want a son, and one of these days I'd like to have more children. Just to increase the renown gain for having a lot of children. My agents have made contact with Bars, a servant in my acquaintance Bar Guna's castle. With the right incentive, he's willing to start some whispers about Guna's not being as short as he seems. A sympathetic ear close to him is enough. No need to escalate it further. I was about to say, hey, any single ladies around? In this territory? How about way over there? Got my wife pregnant. My primary wife, bear in mind. That's a woman of cloth. Don't touch her. What about over in Baruka, Tocharian land? I started a series of vicious rumors against them. None of them are true, but so much of their crime is obvious lies there. What a better way for that someone to have goodness in their debt. I'm spending my piety again for this. Oh, he doesn't have much money. So, you got 10 years to start making all that money. And then, and only then. Ooh, what makes her? Well, she really gets around. Am I gonna be that kind of person? It's like, yeah, we know who's your lover, but yeah, there's a problem with that. Never mind. Don't cha-cha. And so, anyways, I'm actually gonna end the episode on that note. This first episode, which isn't too eventful other than a bunch of seduction and a little bit of scheming around for scamming people out of the demand payment of me as a way of get rich quick, so I could use that to build structures and spend it on a few other things that might be important to me one day. So, we hope you people have enjoyed this first episode, but bearing in mind, he can be an irritable man. He'll take his anger out easily, which in the next episode, he's gonna lash out on somebody again, for the time being, and perhaps pay homage to the liege and then ask for a petition, because he seems neutral with me. It's despite our differences, but I'm sure we'll get along a bit more. Because obviously, my liege is a strong liege. So we must dare not oppose him. If I were you. And also one day that we will start, unite the Tocharian lands. Including this one area that I forget to point out. That area over there, Kumtag. Whenever that area goes independent or something, I want it back. That belongs to my family. And I will talk more about family as well, regarding our dynasty and its history. And we hope that our dynasty will grow, and grow more, as I will look for more wives to marry. Look for more women to marry. To seduce and then marry. Because that's my game. That's the kind of guy he is. Most of the time. But we'll see you on the next episode. And until then, so long for now.